Hi, it's Anthony
And Colin.
with Lighthouse Construction, and today we're at a project here in Powderhouse Pass where we're going to take you
Beyond the blueprint.
So we're standing here in front of a pallet that was just delivered to the job site. Tell me about this, Colin.
Yeah, so this is a cultured stone product. It's actually a manufactured stone, and the color is actually called Echo Ridge.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. And it looks like the house has actually been prepped for this stone. So they applied this waterproofing membrane as well as a wired mesh. And then they'll do a scratch coat on top of this, and then they can come back and apply the stone to that, and they'll do a sill cap and do a really, really nice clean look.
Yep.
Let's take a look at this garage space. So we have insulated the walls of the garage, it looks like. We've actually done spray foam in the headers, so it creates a really nice insulation for the home, because remember, you can't quite get a full depth bat of insulation, so that way they do spray foam so you don't lose as much efficiency in those spaces. And then this is a 3-stall garage, but in here it only looks like a 2-stall. So why did we do a 3rd stall that has a partition wall here, Colin?
So basically there's a separate entire garage stall that this owner wants, and they basically want to be able to kind of shut that stall off from the main 2 stalls, and so that they can store, tools and different equipment in here.
Correct, and they're using this as a rental, so this stall they'll keep separate from the renter so that they have those items that they can leave here full time. And what's nice about having windows on both sides of the garage is this stall has some nice natural light that will come through here as well as the garage doors, and the stall in here will also have that. Tell me a little bit about what these lines are, Colin.
So these are actually for the in-floor heating system that they'll have set up in this space.
Yes, yeah, that'll be really nice. That way if there's snowmobiles or cars, that snow will come off the car, hit the warm floor, and go right down this floor drain that's been tapered into the center of the garage. And then from there, it looks like we have our door prepped and ready to walk into the mudroom space of this home. So we're currently in the insulation phase. In a lot of these homes, what we've been doing is not only on our exterior walls, but also on our interior walls. And why do we do that?
Mostly just to help with sound deadening, especially in these rental homes that we've been working on. We want to make sure that it's quiet for the guests and that noise isn't transferring from the main living spaces to the bedrooms.
And Colin and I have actually been walking through some other homes today, and it's amazing when you just walk into here, the dampening of the sound. It's definitely tangible. You can feel the difference of a home that has sound insulation and one that is not. And the insulation is really the last step that gets done before the drywall, because all the mechanicals are in, we do our insulation, and then we can start the drywall process. So there was some bad weather today that held up a shipment of drywall, but otherwise they're going to start hanging that today. So as we kind of walk through, we have a master suite over there, a powder room, and then tell me about this room. This is awesome.
So obviously this is your main living space. We've got a tall vaulted ceiling, some nice natural light kind of coming into here. And then you can see they've already got the fireplace all prepped, getting ready to finish that out and have electrical rough-ins for, large screen TV.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually going to be a stone fireplace. So in some of the homes, we've been doing wood accents on fireplaces. In this case, the homeowners elected to do the same color stone as the outside, but a slightly different cut of that stone. So it's going to feel very cohesive, yet a little bit smaller format for this fireplace. And it looks like there we have a giant, some sort of a glue lamp. Tell me, why is that in that space?
So basically with having this vaulted ceiling, a lot of the bearing's going to be coming down on the sidewalls here. And when you create an opening that large in a wall similar to that, you need a large structural member to kind of carry that load down into the corners.
Yes, and it looks like here we kind of transition in from the living space into the kitchen. Again, we'll have a beverage center over on this side, a nice corner pantry, and wall of cabinetry. And look at that window. A lot of times we've been doing smaller windows in front of the sink, but in this case we really went for reducing a little bit of upper cabinetry, but I think the trade-off's definitely worth it when you get to see this large window in this space.
Definitely makes doing the dishes a lot better.
Yes, yeah, when you get to look out at the nice views and in nature and the natural ravine back in that space. And in front of this, we actually have a covered porch. That way there's a nice practical space outside with a deck, but then we've stopped that roof line so we can get that nice wall of windows in the living space here. Tell me a little bit about the windows that we've used in this home.
Yeah, so this is actually the Pella Impervia line. Basically, it is their fiberglass line, and these are black on black. And as you can see from some of the windows actually on that wall, we opted to do some of the dividing grids in those as well.
And so why don't we do grids on the roadside and not on the backside?
Basically what it comes down to is really capturing those views. With a wall of glass like that, you don't want a lot obstructing kind of your vision through it.
Couldn't agree more.
But on the roadside, you definitely want that kind of added curb appeal.
So if I'm looking at the insulation, again, we talked about the sound insulation in the walls, we have insulation in the exterior walls. What kind of insulation do we have up on this ceiling space?
So that's actually a blown-in insulation up there. And what they will basically do is they'll put up their vapor barrier, and they'll actually stuff that insulation down in between the roof trusses.
There you go. That way you get that higher R value, and it's a nice fill-in insulation. Front door here, that's a temporary door system. Of course, during construction, we want to protect the final door. That's going to be nice and finished. So we put in a temporary door, and it looks like this is just a little sheet of plywood or something, but there's going to be a nice side light in that space here.
Yep.
Let's take a look downstairs. So we're now downstairs in this nice living area, and one thing you'll notice here is instead of an 8-foot ceiling, we have a 9-foot ceiling down here. Just kind of creates a little more volume in this space, feels less of a basement. I mean, with all that natural light coming in right now, there's no lights on this home, and it feels really spacious down here. You don't even realize you're in a basement space, so to say. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, so similar to upstairs, we have another kind of fireplace unit down here, and they'll be wrapping this in stone as well, which will make it look even more impressive with those taller ceilings.
Yeah, absolutely. We have our electrical all roughed in down here. All of our HVACs in the floor system here. You can see we have those 2-foot web trusses. If you look up there, you're also going to notice there's a spray foam rim joist. That's an area that's traditionally difficult to insulate, so they use spray foam. That way they can achieve that R value in that space. We have a nice bedroom set up back in this space. And then over there, there's a niche recess in that wall. Tell me about that space, Colin.
Yeah, so you can see here we have some rough-ins for both electrical and plumbing. What they're going to be doing over here is more of kind of like a built-in bar area to kind of serve this main family room. So if they're doing a lot of entertaining, they won't have to run upstairs for, a drink or a soda.
Very cool. And then this is a space that was initially going to be a large storage room, but we actually took out the wall here, and I believe there's plans to do like kind of an arcade setup with maybe what do you call that, with the 2 flappers on the side?
Oh, pinball.
Pinball, that's it, pinball. I haven't played pinball since like the late 90s, I think.
Have you ever played pinball?
I know, you wouldn't think so because I couldn't think of it. But this will be a really fun space down here. And then we have a private suite down here, as well as 2 Jack and Jill bedrooms. So really a lot of practical space, as well as this awesome second living room.
Yep.
Well, it's always awesome to tour these jobs and get a feel for the various stages of construction. Like we had talked about earlier, next step here is really hitting the drywall hard, making sure we get everything hung, tape textured, and then from there we can roll into some of the finishing phases.
Exactly.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on today's episode where we took you
beyond the blueprint.